Real estate 101. For say you have no money and you want to get into real estate, you know, you have big dreams. Everyone wants to have big dreams. How do you get a property? Well, one is find a great deal. Find a really good deal, study the market, bring the deal to someone who does real estate. And you say, hey, I found this amazing deal. If you pay for it, do you want to go 50-50? If we make it X amount of profit on it, you run all the numbers, you'll get your first deal.
So how does that look like if you're a new investor? Like, where do you get started? If you're not even an investor, you want to get into real estate, like, where do you begin?
I would say you just heard about real estate, you want to get into it, start watching as much content as you can. Go on YouTube, real estate. Just type in real estate methods, real estate, how to get your first property, what are real estate values, what is ROI. Search all these things up, educate yourself, do as much free education as you can, and then say, how do I get a real estate deal? What does a deal look like? A deal is when you buy a property with equity, or you buy a property that can make a great return or ROI. And if you have either of those two things, I would consider that a good deal to bring to an investor. Now, it's going to take you some time to find a deal. You're going to need to know what you're doing, but that's what the free research is for on YouTube University.
Do you recommend getting in contact with local wholesalers and local investors?
I would recommend contacting different companies in the area too. Say We Buy Homes, search that up and talk to those people who buy it. What are they looking for? What do you guys look for in properties? Call a local real estate agent, or I'd say call your local We Buy Homes person. Just ask them what they look for in properties, and then find properties like that.
Do you recommend go to the sheriff sale to meet investors?
So yeah, the sheriff sale is another creative method. The sheriff sale is basically an auction in your county, so it's going to be close to you. There's one in every county because wherever there's houses, there's a sheriff sale. So you go to the sheriff's department in the city, probably the city hall or the downtown of that county. You go in there. You're probably not going to know when the dates are. I don't know when the dates are of yours counties are, but just walk in there one day during Monday through Friday during business hours and just say, hey, do you have the sheriff's sale list? Where do I go for the sheriff's sale information? They'll direct you. You'll be able to get a sheriff's sale list. And then after you have the sheriff's sale list, it'll show the date of the auction, date and time, as well as all the properties on the list. And usually it's once every 2 weeks or something. So then you go take the list home with you, you study the properties on it, and study the areas a little bit, drive by some of the houses, see which ones could maybe be a potential deal at a certain price. You go to the sheriff's sale. And I'd recommend going to a couple sheriff sales before you even buy anything from a sheriff sale. Go there just to sit down. You don't even have to have any money to buy anything. You can just watch it. So go watch it, see what the other bidders are doing. A lot of them are pretty experienced, go there a lot. A lot of them are just new home buyers that are trying to get their first property. And I'd go a couple weeks in a row because on some weeks it'll be packed. On some weeks there will be no one there. So it's really just about just the experience and testing it out. And if you research every property from the list, you'll find one that's a deal, and then you just got to see if it doesn't get bidded. Set a price to where you can't go over that price. So you'll be it's a deal under this amount, but if it gets bidded up past that, you're out. But if it doesn't get bidded up past that, you got yourself a deal.
So how do houses get put onto the sheriff's sale?
How do houses get put onto the sheriff's sale? Great question. So sheriff sale homes are foreclosures in the area, foreclosures in the county, meaning someone got a loan or a mortgage, or they have a lien on their house. They owe some kind of money and it's on their house and they haven't paid it. They're in debt, they can't pay their loan, and they get their house taken away. That could be from the bank, the city, but they get auctioned off there. And so all these homes have money owed on them, and usually the minimum payment for the house is the money owed on the house. So for say there's a $100,000 house, it's starting at $40,000 on the sheriff's sale, and that initial it gets bid, they pay off the lien. So for say someone's 45, 50, 55, 60, and then you get it at 70,000, and you know it's worth 100,000, and then everyone else just stops bidding, you got 30% equity in the home right off the bat. You just got to see which ones are deals and where you can cap yourself out at, because I've seen some go over the price of where I would value them to be worth. So $100,000 house, I estimate this house at $100,000. I've seen ones go for 110, and I'm like, someone's just wanted to pay a little extra for that. That's not me, because I'm looking for a deal. And if you want to I'd recommend getting a house with equity or good ROI. I said so. Just try to get something with some equity.
So what if you could find these houses like before they get sold?
So you could take it back a step too. So in order to get on the sheriff sale, I said that these people owe money on their houses and they haven't paid it. They haven't paid their mortgage, so they're getting their house taken away. Well, that process before you get on to the sheriff sale takes a couple months. It could take even years of a person being in debt before they get their house taken away. So it's something called pre-foreclosure. And it means someone's owed money and they haven't paid it. They're getting late notices, they're getting fines, nothing too serious yet, but if they were to let it go any longer, they would get a foreclosure notice. But it could be when they get their first foreclosure notice, or just when they have a bunch of money owed on their house that they're not paying. You can talk to them and say, I want to help you out with your situation. It looks like you can't pay off your payments here, so if you just transfer me the title of the house, then I'll make all your payments and I'll keep your house from getting foreclosed. And a lot of them like that because they're not going to get a foreclosure on their record. They're not going to get their house auctioned off, and they get out of their mortgage. And you're going to have to pay their overdue payments, but if it's a house with equity, you can do that all day. And then, for say they owe $10,000, they're getting their house taken away, because it could be $20,000 or more. For say they're getting their house taken away because they're $20,000 late on overdue bills and payments. Their mortgage is $150,000, their house is worth $300,000. You pay the $20,000 to get rid of all those late fees and everything. You still have $150,000 on the mortgage, and the house is worth $300,000. So you got a $300,000 house for $20,000. You only owe $150,000 on it.
And so you can take over their mortgage payments?
You could take over the mortgage payments. One thing I would say is you have to call their lender up, or have them call their lender and whoever they owe the money to, and say, is my mortgage assumable? Meaning, can I give it to another person? Can I sign it over and get myself out of it? As long as that is all good, then you could do it. But I would definitely ask that first.
So that's how you get a house for basically no money down?
That's how you get a house for basically no money down. And you could do it even if people aren't late on their payments. They don't even have to be late. It could just be someone who has a mortgage that wants to move, and they just want to get out of their mortgage and get a new house. So they just sign your mortgage to you, sign the title to you, and then move to a different house, and you get a house.
Okay, so I learned the concepts.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Do you want to finish?
No, just next.
So now since I learned the concepts, I understand what to do. Like, how do I even find these deals?
That was what I was going to say. So some of these deals are a little trickier to find, but there is software where you can see what people owe on their houses. Pretty up to date. It's not always 100% accurate, but it's pretty good and reliable. So it's a couple different, the sauce, just give you the sauce. It's a PropStream, batch leads. We're gonna have a little discount code down below. If you sign up with us, you get a discount. But anyways, so PropStream and batch lead, they're great softwares. They're, like $50 to $100 a month, but they have all this data of certain areas of how much people owe on their houses. You could filter people that are in negative equity, people that owe a certain amount, houses that are worth a certain amount, houses that have been owned for a certain amount of years. Any filter you could think of, it pulls all the data. And if you're someone who wants to get deep into this, I would do research on both of these, PropStream and batch lead, see which one's better for you. And that's also a great tool for anything, real estate wise.
And so, okay, I want to do it, but I just don't have money. Do I need money? Do I need a software to do it, or can I do it without a software and money?
You don't need a software to do it at all. I would say start by your local network. Some older people ask around, say, do you have a mortgage on your house? Go to a restaurant in your area, a bar, say, do you have a mortgage on your house? Go to the library, coffee shop. Say, hey, just a quick question. I'm looking to get into real estate. Just talk to some random. Do you you have a mortgage on your house? Oh yeah, I have a mortgage on my house. How much do you owe on it? I owe 150. I bought it at 200. Okay, are you happy with the house? Yeah, I'm happy with the house. I don't want to move. Okay, that's awesome. You can ask them just questions about that, or eventually you'll find someone who just wants to sell their house and get out of their mortgage. So I would say if you have no money and you have some time, talk to as many people as you can, ask them their opinion on mortgages and if they want to sell their house, how long they want to sell it in, if they're willing to for you to assume their mortgage. Just ask around, ask all those questions, and you'll find the answers.
All right, I'm ready to go. About to get started. How long should it take? How many people do I got to reach out to get a deal?
Definitely reach out to at least 100 people at first, and then just see your rate about that. See, you talk to 100 people, see what % of those people wanted to sell their house, what % of those people had a mortgage on their house, and any other filters and factors you want to compare. Just find your conversion rate. How many people were the type of people I was trying to talk to about real estate, and then go from there.
All right, I'm gonna get to work. If I got any questions, can I hit you up and ask you for help?
Of course, you could always reach out on our YouTube videos. You could visit our website, but I would say just go to one of our most recent YouTube videos, leave a comment with your name and say, I need some real estate help, and one of us will just reach out to you and we will personally train you.
Cool. What do you think, Blue? Blue's been in real estate a couple weeks. He's working on his first deal.
Yeah, Blue's been working on his first deal. He lives at one of our deals, actually.
He's chilling in the bird room. Can't catch cash.
Cash is flash. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.